Hello and welcome to VAD Inspires and Happy New Year. Today, I want to share with you the second part of the Metaprograms. Actually, the first part can be found on my video description. A link will be there that can take you to the first part, and I highly recommend that you watch it before coming to this one, because I'm going to just dive right into the second part because I have a lot to cover in a short period of time. So let's get on with it. The second part is, number one is first sorting matches and mismatches. And this is actually trying to find out if this person is a matcher or a mismatcher. And the way to spot this is usually you can bring two items or two things or two ideas. And you could say, hey, what do you think about these two things or these two items or these two products? If that person is a matcher, he will first start with the similarities. And if he's a mismatcher, he's going to start with the differences. And that's how you spot a matcher and a mismatcher. So how do you use this in a communication? When you find out this person is a mismatcher, you're trying to sell an idea, you're trying to create a rapport, you have to look for differences. When you look for differences, you can't imagine the kind of connection you're going to create. And vice versa for the person who is a matcher, you look for similarities. And people who are matchers, it's not that they don't necessarily look for differences, it's that they first look for similarities before they look for differences. And vice versa for the mismatches, they first look for differences and then similarities. And you can't strictly be on the edge of these two things. You can't strictly be a matcher or strictly be a mismatcher. Sometimes you need balance between both of them. But the key here is to find out the person you're trying to communicate in uses, and use that one for him or her. The second one on this second part of the Metaprograms is convincing someone on something. What it takes to convince someone on something. Now, I know we've been talking about ideas and how to say your ideas here, but sometimes I think one of the best ways to convince someone is to actually hear how to convince them from their mouth. And you can ask an indirect question like, what's your best experience? And why is that your best experience? And you diligently listen, because he's going to give you clues, phrases, the pictures, the sounds on what it takes to convince him, what it takes to actually say, you know what, this is a good experience. Or you know what, this person is good with what he's doing, or that thing was really what my wife. And you use those things to actually lead him or her to where you want her to be, with the experiences he thinks that suits him or her. So to communicate effectively, one of the keys is to find out what it takes to convince someone on something, or what it takes to convince someone that this other person is good at what he's doing. Does he really have to say it, or does he have to do it with that person, or does he or her have to, see them do it? And this can be found on a clue, on a question. So that's one of the keys to effective communication on Metaprograms. And then the third one is possibility versus necessity. Now let me ask you this question. Why are you working for the current organization, or why are you working for your current firm or company right now? Why did you buy that new car or that new house? Why did you paint your walls? Why do you do what you're doing right now? Are you doing it because it is possible for you or are you doing it because you have to? And this is the key. When you ask people a question, they'll either answer in terms of possibility or in terms of necessity. And you can go from there to weave in whatever you want to weave in, or try to say your idea, or try to create a rapport and communicate well in a conversation or in any setting. Again, it depends on context or the environment or what he said or what she said. If the person is driven by possibility, that's what their beliefs, that's what their insights, and there's a few people who are driven by possibility, by the way. That's what they believe, that's what their insights, take them to the future, show them what you and your product or you and your idea could do for them, or what you are aiming to do in terms of possibility thinking, and vice versa for the necessity. Tell them the need. Tell them what will make them believe that they really need that, or they really need this idea or this product or this item. Okay. Now, everything we've been talking about so far on metaprograms and communicating well in conversations and in business settings, from questions to examples, these are all ideas that I'm trying to weave in. These are all, examples that I came up with on my own. You could be flexible with this, but the key doesn't change. It's just that the explanation is based on the examples that I came up with. For you to really use it effectively, you have to be flexible with it. You have to be creative. It's up to you to be creative with the terms. So let's go on to the final one, which is people's working style. I actually have a few notes on this. There are 3 types of people. People who like working independently, people who like working with people, and people who like proximity. This is people who like working with others, but they like to be in charge. And as an employer, you have to find out if the person you are trying to employ like working independently with people or proximity. So you can better know where he's going to fit in the organization, or if he or she fits in at all. So that's it. That's it on Metaprograms. Again, in this video, we talked about, first, certain matches and mismatches, and second, we talked about what it takes to convince someone on something, or someone on another person that person is good at what he's doing. Third one, possibility versus necessity, and the fourth one is people's working style. So that's it on the Metaprograms, and I hope you find this valuable as I have found them, because I've used this in my conversation every day, and I have drastically improved in the result that I'm getting. I'm actually finding out what people are, how they think, and how they process information, and I can better know what they like and what they don't like. And I have using these keys to communicate well. And I think you can too if you practice with these skills, if you be flexible with them, if you use them simultaneously. Just let your mind roll when using them in your communication. But the key is just to know the terms, know the 7 metaprograms we've talked about, and just be flexible with them. Now, let me give you my final thoughts. According to his book, Unlimited Power, Anthony Robbins said this: just as a person's physiology will tell you countless stories about him, a person's metaprogram will speak eloquently about what motivates him and what frightens him off. And this is the key. Thank you, and stay inspired.